Welcome back to another Target Up Tuesday. Today we want to share something with you that we feel that you can use in your everyday life, regardless if you conceal carry or not, or if you're a gun user or not. We feel it is something that everyone should be aware of, and to a level, it's something you have heard of before, but we're going to give you a system to go along with it and kind of give it a name so that you can strive to use it in your daily life. We're going to be talking about situational awareness. And not only just telling you to be aware of your surroundings and to prepare for situations that you might come up with, we're going to talk about Cooper's colors. Now, Jeff Cooper was a Marine that came up with a system to give soldiers and then also individuals and police officers a system that they could use to label colors with the mental state that they're in and basically the level of being completely unaware to ramping it all the way up to dealing with a threat and reacting to dangerous situations. So we're going to start off with the basic level in the very bottom. Mike's going to start off with that and tell us how we don't want to be in that state, and then take it all the way to a dangerous situation.
So the first level is what's called condition white, right? So this would be the white color of our spectrum. What condition white is the level that we don't want to be caught in. It's a condition of complete unawareness. You're situationally not aware, all right? And that's what we don't want. So an example of this is, and unfortunately you see it all the time. I can go for days with examples, and you've probably seen it yourself just walking down the street, especially with the advance of technology now. So what we're talking about is when you see people walking down the street, head buried in their cell phone, headphones in, so they're focused, their vision is focused on the phone, their hearing is listening to their audiobook or music or whatever they're listening to, so that way the outside world is completely zoned out from them. And unfortunately this is what a predator would see as an easy target, right? Because they wouldn't be able to see them coming, they probably wouldn't be able to hear them coming, and that's just an easy target for someone who's looking to cause problems. So that's why we really don't want to be caught in that condition. And instead, what we want to do is be living in a kind of higher state of awareness, or what we call, and what Jeff Cooper calls, condition yellow. So if you want to talk a little bit about what condition yellow is.
Right. So condition yellow, like you said, is a situation we all want to strive for. And it is being aware of your surroundings, taking everything in, not being buried in a cell phone, not being ignorant to what's going on around you, while not being paranoid. You don't want to look like you are searching for things. You don't want to stare people down. You don't want to snap to someone that's, just approaching you naturally in a way that it would be alerting, or you might even threaten other people with your overbearing and with your actions. So you still want to act normal. You don't want to change what you're doing. However, you need to take in your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on. Listen to other people when you're around them. And it could be as simple as when you walk into a store, taking everything in, paying attention to what's going on. When you're driving in your car, not texting and not focusing on that when you could be completely unaware of someone coming into your lane on you. When you're approaching your car at the, after shopping and you get to your vehicle, knowing what's going on around you, how close other people are parked to you. Again, not being buried in something or so distracted that you don't realize someone approaching you or someone that is already standing next to your vehicle. By being in yellow and by being aware of what's going on around you, it gives you options. And that's the whole point of this whole situation, is not drawing attention to yourself and looking any different than anybody else, basically kind of disguising what you're doing within your own mind and with your own actions, but putting yourself in a position to where you can react if the level jumps up.
Right, so and if the level does jump up, that's what's called condition orange, right? So that's the next level up. And what condition orange is when you recognize a potential threat. And the only way you're going to be able to recognize a potential threat is if you're living in condition yellow, right? So this opportunity is only available to those living in condition yellow. If you're living in condition white, totally unaware, you'll never recognize things that could clue you in that there is a potential threat, right? So an example of this is kind of like what you're talking about when you're walking out to your car. Maybe you notice, because you are aware, you notice that there's maybe a shadow behind your car or a handprint on the side of it, something that just doesn't seem right. Another example is you're just walking down the street and because you're situationally aware, you notice somebody who's walking toward you kind of at a fast pace, fists clenched, dead stare at you, kind of hunched over a little bit, all signs that this individual is a potential threat. So one advantage that being able to get to condition orange gives you is that you can start formulating a plan. In your mind, you can start going over, what happens if this potential threat actually becomes a threat. You can start taking actions to avoid this potential threat before it even becomes a threat. But if it does, if the situation changes to where that potential threat becomes an actual threat, then we have to escalate to condition red.
Right. And red is when that situation that you've been watching, that person that just doesn't seem right, that condition or event that is drawing your attention turns into a threat, turns dangerous. That could be someone declaring that they are going to rob the store that you're in. It could be someone pulling out a weapon. It could be someone physically touching you, whether it's grabbing or punching or doing something that is, a threat that they should not be doing. Once you've stepped into that, into the red zone, you need to react to it. And hopefully, and usually the best option is to just simply leave. If someone has paid attention to the steps and they verge on red and they realize it is a dangerous situation, if you've gone through that mental prep from yellow to orange, you might simply just be able to leave. You might be able to pull your car out of the lane that they're in. You might be able to get cover, hide behind something, or if you have a weapon, draw your weapon. You might be able to, make a phone call that much faster. By moving through the steps, when red happens, it might still be an emergency, might still be, something traumatic, but if you're prepared for it, you have those options, and you have the ability to react and hopefully be that much more prepared for whatever it is that you are dealing with at the time. You also need to realize that one, it should help you survive that situation so that you can eventually come back down from red. Once you do, the last thing you want to do is have regrets. If you have gone through the steps, if you prepared yourself, and you did what you felt was best in that situation, living with that later and dealing with it down the line is going to be much easier to deal with and give you that confidence that what you did was right, and then also prepares you for further situations so you can continue to learn and then continue to be safe. So the main thing for this is to be able to be safe, keep your family safe, keep others around you safe, and do whatever you can to preempt any type of danger, threat, or condition red that might come at you.
All right, yeah, so that's pretty much the Cooper's colors. We hope that we've explained it well enough to where you understand it, and also that where you can start recognizing, hey, maybe I have been living in condition white here and there, and if you could recognize it, you can fix it, so hopefully we've given you enough information where you can start living now in condition yellow and be able to prevent anything that comes your way. Like always, feel free to leave comments below. Let us know what you think about the video, and let us know if you've ever been in any situations or seen any situations where living in condition yellow could have helped somebody out, or if you notice, hey, I was in condition yellow and I was able to get to orange and avoid getting to red. Let us know if you've either experienced that or seen something like that happen. And then also just a quick reminder, we have a Pistol Shooting 101 course coming up this weekend, the 19th and 20th, so if you or anyone you know wants to join us, we'd love to have you. And as always, join us next week for another Target Up Tuesday. Stay alert, stay armed.